Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Today, back into Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. We are into the spring. Spring is sprung, singing in the rain. We have held through the winter. I say held. Held is overstating it. We're still alive, staying alive, and I won't sing that. I don't want Anthony to get mad at me for singing again today. But we are John Travolta style, staying alive. It is Sunday, a little bit of a gloomy Sunday in Southern California, and I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing. Keep moving through. We got through the winter. Now, again, get through. It's past on the calendar. We're into the spring. Now, when I wear my hat frontwards, you know I'm serious. When I wear it backwards, you know I'm doubly serious. So this is going to be a barn burner today. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? David Bartello, welcome to the dojo. What's going on? I don't know. It's kind of a quiet sports time. We got the Euros over, the Olympics coming up this week. I've always been a big Olympics fan. I don't know why. Jingoism, potentially. But I do remember being a little, I guess I would have been 5 years old at the time, a little one, watching the U.S. play the Soviet Union in hockey in 1980 from the confines of my grandparents' living room. And it's a memory that's always stuck with me. Now, of course, that's the Winter Olympics, Summer Olympics coming up. But I love track and field, and I love the swimming too. Okay, I've chit-chatted enough. Let's get on the board. I hope you guys are all doing well. Happy weekend, and let's talk some Eastern Front War. All right, when I left you last time, the stream cut out, so let's hope for a good stream. But then I put up the video, and basically I just moved around in the South. Looked at, I didn't move a whole lot. It's a super serious Sunday, Nord. That's right. I didn't move a whole lot this time. With the rain here, the Soviets will have a very hard time attacking. We have had a hard time attacking for quite some time, but hopefully this rain will give us a little respite. We can get everything set up for the big spring offensive. Now that we talked about that last time, we've got about 120 Soviet divisions that could potentially, and potential is the buzzword, could potentially be trapped out in the Pripyat marshes. Gosh, let's hope. David, oh, thanks for asking. The party was excellent. Frank, whose real name is Francisco Rodriguez, he had a great time, or seemed to. That guy is really in good shape for 90 years old. Hell, I hope I look and act that well when I'm 70. Frank's doing great. I said I mentioned him on the stream about the Korean War, and he kind of brushed me off like, don't do that. I don't want to talk about it. So I don't know. I didn't get any interesting Korean War stories. I said, tell me about Matthew Ridgway, and he did no, he didn't want to go down that road. So anyway, he had a great time. Nice looking cake they made there. I have to say, it was out in the middle of a park. Uh, it was nice. It was nice. A lot of people there. I mean, it's amazing. You see a 90-year-old man, and then you see all that he's created through children and grandchildren and now great grandchildren. There were a lot of people there. So, anyway, thanks for asking. Hey, John Chappell, how are you? Truth Hurts is here. Uh, yeah. Are they even going to be able to have the Olympics? Truth, I don't know. Somebody's going to have COVID. It's going to spread all over that place. Who knows? Who knows who's gonna compete, who's not gonna compete? I don't know. It feels a little different this time. I'm usually so excited for the Olympics. I'll still watch, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm not as excited this year. Um, okay. Well, now we brought some German divisions down here. I'm just trying to stop his advance kind of for one more turn. I'm not even sure if he could advance much. The rain will hit down here, hopefully anyway, next turn. We've still got our salient up here. It's nominally holding. Is holding the right word? I don't know. We're getting shoved back. This is looking very suspect, let's say, out here. But I think we're almost ready to turn the turn. Now, I did bring transports out on the map. Let's see if we can actually get them to take some freight somewhere. Let's try to get it out to D-Town. Now, see, it wants to run it out of Crivy Rogue. Oh, it wouldn't come out anyway. These guys have to be on the map for a turn, I think, to even run any of these missions. Minsk. Yeah, they're staging in Belsk. Okay. Um, this looks like this is going to be a next turn thing. Where else would I even want it to go? Well, I say where else? I would want it to go out to Smolensk if we could. But it doesn't look like that's going to get us anywhere. I mean, really, it's coming, I don't want to take from Minsk into Smolensk. Now, I know I can change the staging base, but let's give it one more turn. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. I think let's turn the turn, get to April 12th, and see where we are. And yeah, I already looked over the depot. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Anthony. Don't start yelling at your screen. We still have these divisions that we have to move. Gosh, I almost forgot that. That would have been a disaster. Let's get some of these divisions out here. Now, I probably want to put one in Tarnopol if I can. So let's do that. All right. So one up to Tarnopol. And then I want to take this one. I mean, it could really be anywhere out and around here. I mean, we needed a little bit of everywhere, right? How about out by Vinica to push up into this area? We could even move one around here. We could even try to get a third German division over here. As a matter of fact, why don't we do this? Let's put one there and have him move up here into this core. And then this one. We need a little help in and around Minsk, even more help. Um, I could put that one up there, or I could bring it into Vinica or close to Vinica. Yeah, let's actually put it here. All right, so we've got that one there. I've got all kinds of motorized. I could also bring one over here because we've got a whole nother division here, 383rd, that I could bring in right by Brest. I could also bring it right up here, or I could bring it down by Minsk. Um, Actually, this one I'm going to bring, I think, over here to the center because we certainly need help over here in the center. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll bring him into Polotsk. That'll allow me to take the Panzer Division and get it back out where we want it. We've got a lot of things to change with the command next time. Um, so let's bring him, I don't know, we'll just bring him right in here, right behind Nah, let's put him directly in Polotsk. Okay, so those are all of our reinforcement units this time. My gosh. You guys tried to remind me. Hey, Erzbeck, what's up? M60's here as well. Okay, good general staff today. Yeah, I know, Anthony. I knew you were about to ready to yell. I could hear your voice in my head saying, "Don't forget your reinforcements." No, M60. The Soviets will not be entering Poland. That's where we drop. That's where we stop the line. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of this motorized, as we get more things on the map, let's just make sure, let's go to our reserves and make sure there's nothing left here that I want to bring on the map. I think I'm going to give it one more turn for these Panzer divisions. I mean, they're not obviously not completely built up yet. We do have some replacement Panzer divisions, but they're not really built up either. So I've just got 18th back here. These infantry divisions we just brought in. I looked through all the support units. There was nothing really else to bring here. I don't think any of the Stugs have enough. They need to have like 21 to be 100% TOE. So I'm going to wait on those as well. Construction, I mean, sure, I could bring some construction units out. Not a big deal, I don't think. All right, now we can turn the turn. The one thing I was supposed to remember, Anthony. I'm glad I finally did. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Truth, put out those positive waves. Yeah, that's right. We're just, that was the master plan. Suck them into Poland, and then we go around them. Yeah, there's already one hex into Poland. You are correct. Right there by Brest-Litovsk. Uh, Yep, there's nothing to stop anything out there. Well, now that's not true. The mud is out there to stop them, Anthony. That it's all part of the master plan. Suck them into the marshes during the mud period. They can't get out. Sure, sure. I'll go with that story. All right, we'll see if he actually does any attacking in this mud if he can. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if he's got enough. And his combat values in the mud go down just like ours. Oh, that's right, Erzbeck. Germany's actually having terrible flooding right now, right? I saw that on Twitter or something. That those terrible floods that Germany just had. You say it's about 250 miles to the west. Yeah, I mean it looked unbelievable. Like a couple of the dams broke, I think. This may be a very short turn. I mean, he's probably going to attack a few places, right? I mean, not everything's covered in mud and rain, but we'll see. It'd be nice to have two or three turns where not a whole lot happened. All right, he takes Dubno. Where is Dubno? You guys probably know off the top of your head. I'm not as familiar with those states up there. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think he can run any air. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to move my big head when this happens. Uh, let's see if he actually runs any sorties. Ah, I'm out. No, he's not running anything. Okay, you're not missing a thing. He's not running any air sorties at all. Yep. Well, see if we let him get just a few hexes out of Berlin, they're gonna overextend M60. See, you're on to my plan. Good thing I'm not playing you. Dubno is south. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, he ran no air at all. He's got no isolated units. He's organizing his fronts. Let's see if he attacks. We're at the Soviet front attacks. Nope, it moved right beyond it. So they're not going to run one. Here, I'll move out of the way again. Um, he's not going to attack at all this turn. In the muck and the mire. Gosh darn it, John! I'm sorry. I tried to move. I swear to you, I tried to move. I don't move. I don't bend like that anymore. I'm not sure if I ever bent like that, but certainly not now. All right. Well, hey, that's just a turn that we get to rest, get some of those fatigue scores down a little bit. But absolutely no Soviet attacks this time. I mean, everything's pretty covered with rain, as you can see. Now, that's something if you're not as familiar, haven't dug into the rule book as much. The idea the developers had was that the Allies have better weather forecasting, I guess. So anyway, the weather changes when it's the Soviet turn, and uh, so now now you can see rain everywhere. So the weather just changed when it became the Soviet turn during their logistics phase, and now rain is everywhere. So that probably is what stopped him from attacking. Now you remember last time the rain kind of stopped just west of Vitebsk. And so we were able to do a few opportunity attacks and things like that to the east of that because it was still cold. It wasn't complete mud, but now it is. Now it looks like it's complete mud. He's flying freight into Moscow. Okay, bringing that from the back. You can see his freight, and that's it. That's the Soviet turn. Wow, that was a quick turn. Nothing happened. I love it. We needed that. I mean, we needed a turn to reorganize. It'll be interesting to see if if the AI decides to start dropping back a little bit. I think a human player in this case would, let's just say, drop back to the river here or drop back to a river. He wouldn't be all the way out here, right, in some more exposed area. He would start to say, hey, my logistical lines are getting a little stretched. Let's drop back to rivers, defensible situations. Now, he is on the river here, the Dnieper. We have one hex across the Dnieper, just southwest of Smolensk. Um, but it'll be interesting to see if the AI catches on to kind of our one hope and starts dropping back at all here, knowing that come the spring we're going to have our strength, quite a bit of strength back, right? Okay, it's now April 12th, 1942. It is turn 43 of this particular grand campaign. We've got definitely some things coming out of the reserves. That's good. We'll go see if we actually have any reinforcements that come on as well. We lost 16,000 men last time. Most of that would have been our own attacks or attrition, since the Soviets did very little. 70 guns, 15 AFVs. We gain 183,000 men on the map this time. Wow, okay. 1,500 guns, 615 AFVs, because we brought panzer divisions back out of the reserves. We gained planes, 238. We lost a lot in the theater boxes. It's possible the game shifted some things out of theater boxes over to us. Gosh, I hope they did, Mr. AI. The Soviets gained 97,000 men. So, we gained 183,000 that time. A lot of guns, a lot of AFVs. The Soviets always adding something. If we look at our truck situation, we still have 133,000 in repair. That's down from a high of 150,000 trucks in repair. So it's inching down. I would like to see this get under 100,000, obviously. Um, we delivered 16,000. Now, at our lowest point in the winter, I say tons received of freight. At our lowest point in the winter, we were down at 11,000. So we're at 16,000 in the mud. It's a little better, right? We were requesting 51,000 though, so we had a deficit of 44,000 overall. Now that includes men and guns that we didn't receive that we requested. So the tons differential was 44,000 tons. We've got a lot of things under strength, unready, depleted. We already knew that. We stick on 524 on the victory points. So we made it through the winter. We held on to Smolensk and Kiev barely by the skin of our teeth. Hopefully those will be launching points for the spring. Well, we're in the spring, but once the rain passes, we'll see. For our reinforcements, what do we have here on the map? This is Warsaw, right around this 170, 170 area. So these are things coming out of the reserves, but we did get a reinforcement. Ah, crap, that's just a Stug battalion that we got as a reinforcement. We got a light flak company as a reinforcement. Okay. Oh, we did get the 384th Division. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. This 184, 147, when you see that, that is where OKH is, and that's where your support units that come out of the reserves, they go to OKH. So that's where that's going. This 135, 173 is right by Berlin. That's our actual reinforcement, 384th Infantry Division. So we do infantry division this time. Two of them, 384th, 387th. Well, that's part of the reason we got so many new men on the map. That's excellent. So two brand new spanking divisions. And then we got a lot of things out of the reserves. So overall, we probably got, 6 or 7 divisions there that came out. Let's go look at the weather. Wow. Okay. You can see the situation here. It is all mud. It's not quite, I guess that's heavy mud, right? This is mud? Or do they make such a distinction? Well, they do. Light mud, medium mud, heavy mud, but it's enough mud to matter. I said mud about 30 times there in 10 seconds. The basic idea is nobody can move. Nobody can really attack. Heavy rains all through here. Now let's click it up to the end of the turn. Okay, now it becomes clear, by the end of the turn. Um, Interesting. Okay, so we'll see what the terrain. Usually, you're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 turns of rain in the old game, but this is a dynamic weather system, so it could kind of be anything in some respects. Uh, but it does clear up for next turn, which is interesting. But we still will have a lot of mud on the map. So that'll probably, it'll take a turn or two for that to dry off. Um, Anthony says 5 infantry and 3 panzer divisions this turn. Excellent. Excellent. That's just what we need, Anthony. Salty Dodger, what's up, man? Uh, when does the big encirclement begin? Well, the attempted big circlement begins the minute it dries out. Uh, We'll see. We'll see. I mean, usually you want your infantry to blow the hole open and then the panzers run through. It's interesting because in this game, the AI does such a good job of tracking the panzers and it just, moves it all infantry in front of the panzers. But he's got so much infantry out in those marshes that if we can just get around him, if we can just get around him. Oh, the air units, I'll wait until the mud clears so that freight is moving through normally. Then I'll put the fighters and the level bombers out there. What I'm going to do with them is it'll be purely defensive for the most part. I'm going to turn ground support off in general. If it's a huge offensive or I think I really need their help, I may turn it on a combat by combat basis. But I will have them out there in case we get counterattacked. They can run in there. But I think that's the best way to use the Luftwaffe in this game is it's really not offensive except in certain spots. I think, maybe in 1941 you can do it a little bit, but you can see how much our fighter bombers, really, for the most part, got just chewed up. Now, part of that was my fault. I set them too high. I would set them much lower this time, but we just don't have very many fighters. We just don't. I mean, we've got a very very scarce fighter pool. So anyway, um, the Luftwaffe is completely rebuilt. So yeah. Uh, all right. Let's get on the map. Well, hold on. Let's look at the news events. It is April 12th, 1942, and this time all we get is the Soviet partisan news event. Okay, well, let's click through there. I guess we didn't click on RAF raids last time, so it's making us do that. There we go. Now it's gone. Oh, yeah, let's look at our charts. Look at that. Look how strong we held. Sure. Let me tell you, a couple more cities lost. That would have looked really. I mean, it already looks pretty ugly, but to win the game, we're what 226 points away. Okay. Um, Map. Let's go look at map men. As you can see, we're climbing. We're 1.5 million men. Well, if our big gambit works out, if he truly has 120 divisions plus out there, that would get us pretty close to parity. Okay. Map guns. The Soviets just. That's how you like to see your stock portfolio go. Um, we're definitely a buy though. We've bottomed. We're a buy. Map AFVs. We clicked up. We brought those Panzers back out of the reserves, so that comes back on the map. We're about 3,000 AFVs though in arrears there. Hopefully he's got some mech units out in the middle of the swamp. I'm not sure why he would do that, but hopefully he does. We have seen a few mechanized. Now I haven't seen straight up armor units out there, but mechanized we have seen. Okay, we brought our transport planes back on the map. Let's go to the reserves really quickly and see what the situation is. Get off there. Strangely, to scoot in here, you have to click on the regular map to zoom into the. Gosh darn it! There we go. Um, okay, 18th Panzer, still at 61 and 68. I guess I can give that another turn. Replacement panzers, you can see with 43 replacement panzers, it's at 65%. I mean, we're getting close to the point where we just got to put them on the map if they're, at 60, 70%. If they have 40, they're at 61%. All right, I'm going to let them sit one more turn. We're not going to be offensive this turn anyway, so I think that's fine. The infantry that we put back here, 121st Infantry is looking at 84, 88, so we'll bring that back on the map. That's close enough. 121st or 122nd Infantry, 80 and 85. I don't love that. Let's see what 290 is. 83, 88. All right. I may have to bring him on the map no matter what. So let's put him back on the map. Romanians. Did the Romanians get rebuilt? They did. 87, 80. Look out. Look out. That is a formidable Romanian division. Back they go. I'm going to leave 122nd here for one more turn. Gun battalions. This is totally depleted. What's the elements here? The 240 millimeter siege gun. Okay, well, we're obviously not producing any of those because that's a pretty specific gun, and it looks like we're not getting it. And then we have the siege mortar. We have one ready. I guess it only carries two. So okay, I'm going to leave them sitting here. No reason to bring them out. Um, the light flak, we've got plenty of light flak. I'll just let them sit here. Let's look at the Stoogs. So this one's got 21. That's 100%. Excellent. Okay, so 21 Stoogs is kind of makes up one of these Stoog battalions, it seems. Let's put him on the map. He'll go to OKH. Do we have anything else that has 21? Well, we've got 18. What does that look like? 80 and 85. Okay. We'll let that sit here. All right. None of the rest of these are really ready to go. Okay. So that's our reserves. We'll probably try. Well, I was with you guys last time. I don't think it makes sense to move things necessarily back to the reserves at this point because if they move back near the depots, they're getting rebuilt just naturally. So I don't need to do it. All right. Run the air, which is not going to consist of anything this time. We couldn't run it if we wanted to. It's raining too hard all over the map. Oh, that's good information, M60. M60 says the Soviet mech divisions are gradually converting to regular rifle divisions right now. Okay. Um, Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Nord, I only need 750 points by July. It seems doable. I don't know about that. The goal is not the points at this point, obviously. I mean, you guys know that, but well, it is eventually, right? We got to try to win the game if we're going to continue to do this. But the goal of spring of 42 is to try to get the manpower advantage down to something manageable so we can hang on and eventually win by points. If we win this one, it's probably not going to be till 1945. So, getting to a sudden victory is probably impossible at this point. John Saxon, have I considered flipping some fighter bombers over to fighters? I think they all are at this point. I mean, we have maybe two squadrons that are bombers that were trained as bombers, but almost all of the fighter bombers are fighters. As it was historically, and that's how the game even starts. For whatever reason, and I'm sure some of you know, and I should read about it, but for some reason the Germans loved fighter bombers that operated as fighters in the Luftwaffe, at least on the Eastern Front, and I don't necessarily know why that is. Um, okay. You guys said the stream's acting up a little bit. Gosh darn it. Well, I can sit here and wait. I don't know what is going on. We had such a nice run with the streams for a while. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm going to keep going. If you missed something, I apologize. Again, it's just unbelievable to me. Anyway, okay, let's go, jump back into it here up in the north. I don't think there's a damn thing to be done up here. I would like to see what our situation is as far as how much freight we got in here. Okay, so we've got Army Group North. Army Group North is still under von Lieb. He sits up here with his beautiful golden dome. looking over 16th Army. Now, I had never known, I guess, that von Lieb was so terrible for morale. He evidently was not liked by the troops. He's only a 4, which is arguably the most important stat you can have as a general. Luckily, we've got good generals underneath him. Now, we're not using 10th Corps, and we can rail that somewhere else, I believe. 16th Army, we have Schorner in here now, who is an excellent general. I mean, Schorner doesn't really get better than this. 9988. Uh, I'll admit Schorner is not necessarily uh, a name that pops out from you in history. Schorner or Scherner. It's probably Scherner, right? That's how little I know about him. But he is as good, if not better, than Model and von Manstein, which is pretty crazy that you don't hear more about him. I'm going to have to read more about Scherner because I mean, just unbelievable stats, at least in this game. So he's up here in charge of 16th Army. We then have Lindemann. I want to make sure I've got all of these locked. I think I do. Let's just make sure. Lindemann's got plenty of support units. That looks good. Then we have Harpe that's here. All 7s down the board for Harpe. And we'll look. Yep, he's got his nice complement of support units. So they're just going to sit here. I mean, if the Soviets are willing not to attack, we'll just sit here and build up. Now let's look at their supply situation. Down here, 31%, 32% on bullets or ammo if you prefer, 28 and 57. So they didn't get a lot of supply out here, 12 and 36. Again, that's largely because of the mud. 36 and 60, 34, 30. I mean, that's not great. We need a better supply situation out here. We could run a depot into Narva, I guess, and try to build the rail all the way here to Narva, but we've moved our FBDs out of here. So Sonda was a prioritized or super depot with an FBD sitting here. We moved it, and now they're really not getting a lot of freight up here, which is concerning. Let's look at the rail situation up here. I mean, it should, and it does. Some of this needs to be fixed. This is the fastest route up here. We do have a secondary unit working back here out of 16th Army, but it's just, it needs to be right over here and take care of this. Because as the way it's going now is the freight's coming all the way around here and up here. It's probably being picked off at Pskov because they want that for 18th Army. 10th Corps, we can rail 10th Corps somewhere else, and it's just a matter of where. For now, I'm going to leave it in Daugavpils, so I'll move him down here because we don't need more headquarters up here. We've got enough. As a matter of fact, Harpe could take, up to 2 or 3 divisions more. Lindemann could take another one and just be 1 point oversubscribed. So let's get 10th out of here. Now, this division I put on the rail last time. I'm going to move this division right down in here into the center. I think that's the best place to put it. I think we're good here for now. And so I'm going to bring him down here on the rail. For now, I'm going to leave him right here. But, we've got more movement points. We can take him off at Vitebsk and start, pushing him down into that lane. We've got 86th ID that's up here just kind of trying to block the Soviets from this land bridge. Okay. Oh. Okay, M60 says that Schorner big time came in 44-45. Interesting. Um, huh. I'm gonna have to read more about. I just don't know much about him. It's not a name that popped out historically, but what stats? Holy crap! Oh, at the end of last episode, if you guys missed it, if you didn't go back and watch the recording I did after the live stream, I did I did bring Rommel in to lead Fourth Panzer, so that'll be fun. Okay, let's move more around here. We've got 23rd Corps out here. This is von Arnhem, who we brought in here, who replaced Rommel in North Africa, obviously. He's up here commanding the Finns. The Finns certainly did their job. Thank goodness we took Leningrad even for a few turns so that we got these Finnish units. Honestly, from a balance or from a historical perspective, you probably should lose the Finn divisions if you lose Leningrad because they probably would have recalled them to try to protect Finland. But I'm not going to complain about it. I'll take it and run with it. So he's at 9 of 9. Now, one thing I am going to do, um, and this is around here with Valor. Valor is also a very good general, 867 with the 7. He's very good for the troops' morale out here. Uh, let's get that off rail. I'm going to back him up. Now, he's already at 10 of 9, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this division here kind of on the edge, and I'll give that to von Chapuis. So 206th will now move to 38th Corps instead of 28th Corps. So von Chapuis will take that division. Okay. I'm actually even going to move von Chapuis down here a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a little further, and I'm going to put this division in with von Chapuis as well. I'll make this part of 18th Army. 9th Army, I want to eventually move east, and so these will be the guys that are, the north, I guess you'll say. So I'm going to put him in 162nd ID. I'm going to put that in 38th. Now that has two benefits. One is we're going to need a little bit more to try to hold this entire north. I'm going to try to hold with, Army Group North. I'm going to try to move up to the Levette River, up to the lake here, and straight up the Volkhov. That's going to be my hope, right? In 1942. Again, it's a hope. You don't have to say that's impossible. I know it's going to be very difficult. But the idea would be to essentially move out to Veliki Luki and make a line straight up the river for the winter of 42 43. That's the hope. And for that, I'm going to need a few more divisions, obviously. So now von Chapuis got these four. This unit here, now I say this unit, Valor here has got 8 of 9. I'm going to back him up a couple of hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't need to back him up that far. We'll put him right there. And well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I did need to put him right there. Okay. I'm going to give this division to him as well. So I'll put that into 28th. He'll be slightly oversubscribed, 10 of 9 on his command here. But now I've got everybody in command. Every single unit out here is in command. They've all got, support units. Von Chapuis got a lot of support units. Valor has got a lot of support units. They're all locked. If he's not going to attack at all in the rain, they can just sit here. Let's actually look at the supply issues out here. 40%, 53. Oh, I'll turn them on defense now too, since we're not moving them at all, and we can get a relative idea of what kind of defense we're throwing up here. 16, 18, 20, 15. Okay, those all look good. The Soviets don't have enough strength to take anything in double digits out here. Not really. 14, 69. Hey, drink. 33, 36, 23. This is the weakest unit. He probably needs to come off the line at some point. Maybe sit back in Pskov for a turn, something like that. But I'm not going to take him off of a fort level, not now at the moment. Hopefully he'll just get rebuilt naturally, but if not, we'll move him back because now we have enough units out here. We got 102nd ID, 46 and 73. 57 and 33. As you can see, though, no fatigue. That's certainly a change. And even the ones that have some, it's just a little bit. 58, 58, 32, 6. Okay, we're still not getting a lot of freight, but it's muddy. And obviously, historically, the Soviets, the Germans had a lot of problem moving freight through the mud with the horses. Once you get off the major rail lines, and even on the major rail lines at times, they had huge problems moving their freight in the rain and the mud. Oh wow, interesting. M60. Very interesting. Yeah. So he gets good stats because he wouldn't move. So he took Hitler's orders at face value. No surrender, right? Not one step back. Um, all right, so just moving around here, again, if he's not attacking, we're fine there. Now, one thing, I was saying, moving this over to Von Chapuis has an additional benefit, and that is Fifth Corps, this Corps headquarters, we can move somewhere else. Now, I'm not sure where yet, um, but he's not out here commanding anybody, so we may as well move him around here, and we'll go look for divisions that need command. Um, all right, so he moved through here slightly. I would like to try to knock him back, but attacking in this muck is not ideal, certainly. Let's get off train. All right. Let's see what kind of odds we get, though. 1.3 to 0.6. Okay. If we bring in this, we get 2.5. If we bring in these guys, 4.5 to 0.6. So let's go ahead, try that attack. Okay, we did rout him. So that's 3,300 men. Let me turn this back to movement points, by the way. Okay, so that looks good. He routed out. That's the one thing we had to deal with this time. Let's move this motorized back into Veliky Luki, which, as you could see, the FBD is there. It's a quote-unquote super depot. Did it work? Well, it looks like it worked for the Mendel Field Division. He's got 116% supply out here, and this is notoriously bad terrain to try to supply your troops. 77%, 68. So it looks like the Super Depot did its job. 110, 109. Wow. These guys are like rations. I can't believe it. Now you can see the problems sort of out here a little bit better. 49%, 29%. I would actually love to get this motorized unit back to Veliky Luki. If he's not going to attack, you know, I would love to move this here. I could actually even take this infantry division and put it out here on the train. I can get him to here, off the train, and up to there. I really want him in the south, though. Let's turn this back to defense. So we're representing a 41 on the defense here. 23 of that is the motorized. Yeah, it's showing 18 for that. So I am going to move the motorized then back into Veliky Luki, and I would like to get him out of here completely to be part of our offensive. So I'm going to put both motorized in Veliky Luki. They did their job. They've held here, through the winter. Now we're across the Dvina River here, which I guess it would have been more defensible to put them right here, and it would have been better for the freight situation. I guess I didn't quite notice that when we set up this makeshift line. 3,200 men. All right, so he's got to get the hell out of here. 33%, 39%. So I could move this unit out here. Now he can't move very fast, or let's see what these guys. That's a 7. He's a 14. All right. So let's take this unit and try to get him back here. We'll get him across the river first of all. So he's in a level 2 4. Should be okay by himself. We'll see. Let's try to get this back on either put it in the reserves or get it rebuilt naturally. 7119. Okay. He got a little bit of rations, a little bit of ammo. I've seen worse out here, certainly. As we look at this, he's only a 3. He's an 8. This unit right here, let's try to back him up on the road. As a matter of fact, I'll take him back here. And let's just drop some of these back near our big depots and try to get them built a little bit. If they do, attack this time and move us out of here, he can always come right back. But for now, we're sitting in forts with some stronger units. Let's try it anyway to get them back, get them refreshed before we start this offensive. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so we have a super depot. Again, if I'm saying that and you're not sure what I mean, those FBDs are the railroad units. When they sit on a depot, they attract freight. That's just a component of the game. I don't know what historically that's supposed to really represent, but that's how the game works. If they sit here on a depot, it brings it. I guess the idea is you have more railroad workers out here, and it's just you kind of putting a beacon up and saying send freight here to the game. Let's look at these units back here. Now, this unit can actually move back up. It got rebuilt a little bit. I'm not saying it's great, but it's back up to 61, 67. For us right now, that looks really good. 17th ID. Um, this one I actually think I'll transfer, but the reason I'm going to do it is not necessarily just to have it in the reserves for a turn, although that's not a bad thing. It's really because I want to take it south anywhere. I want to take more divisions south, so that moves him around. When he comes back on the map next time, he'll pop out at Warsaw. So, it kind of has two purposes. This unit I will move back out here, but I'm not going to do that yet because we're going to mess around with some of the commands out here. One thing I'm going to do is fourth army group under Veal potentially. He looks like old grandpa, doesn't he? 5557. What I'm thinking about doing, we've got 35 AP, is putting Heinrike in charge of all of Fourth Army. Heinrike has gotten so good now that I core level. But we're going to be rebuilding Fourth Army, so I think maybe putting Heinrike in charge here. He's an 897, 8 on the ground, and then they'll pull from the reserve of generals a better general, or a good general anyway. So I'm going to put Heinrike, and it's Hans Krebs. Now I don't remember Krebs off the top of my head, but Heinrike is now in charge of Fourth Army. This is Krebs. Oh my God, his initial. Okay, we've got 15. Can we replace him immediately? It'll have to be with a 1. Airline 755, but that's a good morale score. So I'm going to put Erline in there in charge of 43rd Corps. All right, so I don't know. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make, but Heinrike is a better general. I'm going to move him out here, get him start rebuilding this Fourth Army, and he's a good one. So anyway, 8th Light Division goes back to that 43rd Corps that we just put airline in. 43rd Corps, 43rd Corps. Okay, so he's 15,000. That's a fresh division. 12,000 is almost a fresh division. This 6,200 needs to rebuild or try to. I'm going to move him down on this rail line or at least get him closer to Vitebsk. We'll bring him back out here, obviously, but let's rebuild him while we can. This is a 9 defensive. You know, he doesn't have a whole lot out here now. It seems like maybe he's dropped some of it back. We'll see. These guys in Ninth Corps. Ninth Corps is still under Rendelik, who's obviously an excellent general. We'll move. I'm going to move him over here so I can see him a little better for no other reason really than that. And he's a little closer to his troops. Let's see here. So he's at 6 of 9. Okay. This unit that we're going to bring back out here, where are we going to put it though? Well, I'm going to bring him down here as far as he can go. What is Rendelik? Rendelik's got 8 of 9. He's got 2 there, 1 division there. Where's his other division? Oh, it's back here. Oh, it is that division. Oh, duh. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll move it this way this time, and then we'll double stack with this division right up here, and Rendelik will have all of his guys together, and then when we bring this, hopefully this will rebuild a little bit this time. We'll bring it back out here and we'll start trying to recreate Fourth Army or reanimate it from the dead. Here's Rendelik's. Ooh, this is the guy I really need to move. So overall, what kind of defensiveness do we have here? It's not very defensive. Let's totally. Okay, it's a 4. Well, that's not great. Why don't we do this? I'm tempted to move these 2 back and move him over here. He's the strongest of these 3. Sure. All right. Let's move these two back. I don't know how much that's going to help them get, a little extra freight or something, but we could get them off the line, one at a time and move this unit up here. Okay. Um, the Panzer division's out here. They're in 24th Motorized Corps. That's under von Schweppenberg, but we're going to change that. And how are we going to change it? Trying to think where he can. Okay. Anyway, how are we going to change it? Well, Erich von Manstein is going to come out here, and he's going to take command. First of all, we're going to put him in 2nd Panzer Army. All right. And then we're going to put all of these units into 56th Motorized. Okay. 56th Motorized. And it's going to be I'm going with my best, Guderian and von Manstein to lead the Northern Pincher. 56 motorized. Okay. They're all with him. Now, von Schweppenberg is not bad. It's not like he's terrible. He's 666 with an 8 mech score. But von Manstein is, whoops, 8988. So we're going to go with our best, and then he's going to report directly to Guderian. And Guderian, why do I keep doing that? Just click on their picture. 798 with a 9 mech. So, these guys shouldn't fail very many dice rolls. But, I'm just going to put my best out here. This is the most important mission on the map to try to get down here and cut the rail into Gomel. Let's look at that again. I know I did it last time, but it's the important one. I always lose Gomel. There it is. Wow, look how far back we've gotten pushed. I remember when we were like, let's try to take Gomel. We've gone a long ways back. Here's Gomel. Here's the rail line they're going to be trying, and it's the main rail line out of Bryansk, right? So anywhere from Bryansk to Gomel that we can get across this rail line. Now they do have I say anywhere, that's not true because they do have a minor rail line that connects right here. So this really is the hex. Now, if we had to go further south, we can cut it closer to Gomel. We could cut it down here, right? Because it all feeds into this. But this is it. This is target, A right here. I don't know, what is that, 15 to 17 hexes, something like that. Unicha. This is where we're going to try to head. I mean, look, if we can go straight into Gomel, that's awesome. Because they do have a rail line that goes right here. But I think last time, and somebody said this is not Mach, it's Mach. Match. So it's like Bakmach, something like that. This is the other one. So there's, 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B. You get the idea. That's where we're headed. But von Manstein, or we're going to try to head von Manstein in to take over here in 2nd Panzer Army. But von Schweppenberg, like I said, is not bad. I'm going to move him back here. And when we make 2nd Panzer Army, an assault army, we may move all of these motorized into 2nd Panzer Army and make 3rd Panzer Army kind of a shell for a while anyway. But he's out here now. All right, we've got Kleeman that's out here. He's in 2nd Army, but 2nd Army is a little oversubscribed. And quite frankly, if we look on 2nd Army, whereas Marx is okay, he's all 6s, we've now got Heinrich in charge of 4th Army. So I'm actually going to put 53rd Corps into 4th Army. And now 4th Army, I believe, I tried to add this up earlier in my head. Oh, 4th Army's back over here. There's Heinrich, is now at 25 of 27. And so I'm going to actually move Heinrich out here, get him close to the troops. Now, it does kind of matter, these higher headquarters, how close they are to the troops. Hey, Peter, what's up? Uh, Oh no. Okay, well I'll tell you what. We've moved enough this time. If the stream's getting sketchy, I apologize. I try to figure it out every morning before I stream, I swear. But anyway, I'll call this an episode. When we come back next time, we'll go down the rest. Heinrichse. That's right. You guys told me that last time. Uh, when we come back, that'll be on Tuesday. We will go through the rest of the center and down through the south. If the Soviets are not going to be attacking, these can kind of move fairly quickly. We'll get into that offensive very soon. That'll be fun. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's always a good one. Have a great rest of your weekend. I know I'm going to try to. I've got a lot of War in the Pacific to play. I gotta get that play by email going. So I'm going to go jump over to that. Anyway, you guys.